Hello and welcome to Torg's Day Night on the Ulysses International channel. I am JM, your GM, and we are on our first of our day one shots that we will be running to introduce both you to our characters and our characters and players to the system and setting of Torg Eternity. If you tune in, if you go over to the Ulysses International YouTube, you'll be able to see the events from last week's session 0. But this week we have our day one shot known as, this episode is called Mummies and Movie Stars. And we are going to begin by introducing our players and our characters, and we will get into the game. So, hello everyone, welcome to the Torg's Day Night game. We have with us Gabe, who will be playing Zorba, and Jenny, who will be playing Kit. And I realize that Kit is a nickname, so, you know, let's start with you, Jenny. So who will you be playing in our Torg campaign?
So I am playing the mummy Kit of Carnum. Just call me Kit. Yes, I also will be doing that too, because I keep forgetting actually how to pronounce or spell that name. But, so I will be playing Kit. I am a mummy who was mummified in 1500 BC-ish as an honor, because I was such a great advisor to my queen. But it was one of those honors that I would have willingly not gone through, since I'm pretty sure I was alive at the beginning of the process. But now here we are, centuries later.
Ready to come back?
Ready to
to
go.
And I think we established that you are a thoroughly modern mummy. It is. Before we jump into Gabe's character, I just want to say hello to everyone in chat. Phantom of Truth, good to see you. Restart, looking forward to our Torg Day 1 shot with you and other Ben next week. And welcome to Guildmaster Scott and Cubist Octopus. Glad to see you guys in the game. Hope you are in the chat. Hope you enjoy the one shot. And Mr. Furious, always good to see you. Zero Earth Element, good to see you as well. We got a full crowd tonight. All right, Gabe, introduce us to Zorba.
Yes, I am Zorba Aladdin, the actor. My mother was Greek, my father was Turkish. I grew up in international schools and studied in Hollywood with the best method actors. You may know me from such films as Florence of the Desert and Soviet Doctors in Love.
So,
I just want to see that movie.
I know. Like I want like in-world movie synopsises for both of these movies.
Absolutely.
So, also, Greg, good to see you as well. And Greg brought up a good point. We got 2 players on Torg's Day Night on February 22nd, 2022. So it's 2 on 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
That bodes terribly.
I was going to think that was a good sign. So we had different outlooks there.
Yeah.
So, as we start off the game, we will start with Kit. You're dead. Zorba, you have... Kit has been mummified and is residing in one of the pyramids of Giza. Oh, that would be bad. Mr. Furious said that it could possibly that everyone will just roll 2s tonight. That would not be great. Zorba, you are here at a press conference in Egypt in front of the pyramids because you have a massive announcement to your international fans of your movies. So as we open up on this scene, the reporters are all out in front. They've got the red velvet ropes. You definitely saw people that either were actors, you didn't know if they were filming a movie here on site, but you definitely saw a bunch of people who were either like movie extras or cosplayers sneak past the guards or move past the guards and get into the pyramids. But lights are flashing. You can see people are holding up their phones. They are, they've got boom mics kind of over you. And the master of ceremonies hired by your agent says, "And now for the moment you have all been waiting for." And he just points to you and the crowd goes wild. The reporters are like snapping pictures. And they bring you up to the podium and to the mic.
Hello, everyone. I'm so very glad you could be here to hear this wonderful announcement. My semi-retirement is ending. I am going to return to making films. I've even signed a deal to be in an upcoming comic book hero franchise. Um, despite any rumors you might have heard, this has nothing to do with my gambling debts. This is something I'm doing purely for the art of acting.
And as they turn it over to the reporters. And Kit, you have been resting in afterlife for a long time. You are just about. You've finally worked your way up the courts of silence. You have finally got the invitation to the afterlife party of of eternity. Right, Cleopatra is about to tell her very famous joke about Mark Antony and Julius Caesar, and she opens her mouth to talk, and you feel this weird sort of tug at your spine. You, Zorba, hear a crack of thunder, and suddenly everyone kind of looks up, and the thunder steals yours. And as you look up behind you on the other side of the pyramid of Khafre, you see this strange-looking cloud suddenly start to develop. It's the only cloud in the sky. Others in the reporter group start to mutter at the strange sight as the storm cloud begins to grow. Your vision starts to crackle a little bit.
It took so long for them to accept me at this party.
I know, and here's the thing: the joke, the buildup is great. But all of a sudden, Cleopatra, her punchline that you can see all of the other honored dead start to laugh. You don't hear it. You hear thunder, and you see flashes of red and blue. You, however, it's the wrong time of year. You know this. There should be no thunderstorms. And in fact, your agent checked everything to make sure it's the perfect time of day, it's the perfect clouds. And then the impossible happens. You see a twisting sandstone column drop down from the storm cloud like a vortex. It tilts, arcs downward, and slams into the visitor center, crushing it flat. You see a flash emanate from the point of impact, and you feel a shockwave like a thunderclap. And all around you, everything disappears as this rolling storm of sand comes past you. You seem to be the only one upright. And as you turn to speak to your agent, it looks as if he has stepped off the set of one of your movies. Because as you look around, all of the reporters have changed. Instead of phones and boom mics, it's all large box cameras with the big flash bulbs, people scribbling down things on notes. And as you look, you don't feel any different. But there's definitely something that has changed in the area. And Kit, as you hear a grinding of stone, and you see light for the first time. You see people standing around you looking like the attendants who, during your honor death, which some people may call it, an achievement in the fact that you, as architect and mathematician of the great pharaohs, were living. You were mummified while alive. That great honor. That's these guys look just like those guys. And one of them looks down and he finishes intoning this ritual, and then looks down. And he's like, "No, I think we got the wrong one." And that is where we are going to start. Zorba, as you look around, people start emerging from this sandstorm. But they are dressed. They look to be dressed in sort of a modern for you, but seem advanced for kind of everything around you. The nice limo that brought you up is now a 1930s looking Rolls Royce. Mm-hmm. There are the sounds of propellers up above These guys have heavy goggles, green, almost ceramic-looking helmets that kind of come down in an Egyptian style, like ancient Egypt style vest, but looks like armor. And they have machine guns, and they start firing at those people who seem to, they were once security guards and now look to sort of be like French Foreign Legion soldiers. What do you do?
Where am I relative to the people that are being fired on and the people that are doing the firing?
So you're about 30 yards from the entrance to the pyramid. You are about 15 yards from the group that is being fired on, and about 45 from the people coming out of the remains of the visitor center. And I see you, Zero Earth Element. I believe you, but their Tommy guns don't.
I'm going to be like trying to find my cell phone to reach my agent and bodyguard.
You have you kind of reach into your jacket and you pull out a large, what looks to be like an old crank walkie-talkie.
I will take this crank walkie-talkie and with it run towards the pyramid, pressing buttons randomly, desperately trying to reach, my bodyguards and anyone else.
Give me a straight D20 roll.
Okay. That would be a 15.
A 15. As you hit it, you can hear it start to crackle and come to life. And there's this dramatic music that kind of comes over the radio, and then you hear, "Who is this? Who's on this channel? This is supposed to be a secure frequency. Who are you?"
There is an attack. A storm. Terrorists. Freaks.
Damn it, man, I know. I'm trying to coordinate a defense. Who are you?
Don't you know I am the one that organized this particular event. I'm Zorba. The actor.
Zorba. Do we have a file on Zorba? Okay, so you remember that you're Zorba.
I've always been Zorba. Of course I do. Are you?
Questions or answers will have to wait. I need you to get to the highest point that you can in the area. We have, listen, just get there. Look for me. I'll be coming through the skies. And the line goes dead.
Thank you. A helicopter.
That's true. Greg says there's no file on you, but there are definitely headshots. So, what do you do?
Since I am now assuming that the helicopter is going to come and airlift me out, I am looking around, and I'm assuming the highest point here is going to be the pyramid.
That's probably a good.
I am going to start climbing, and I'm going to ditch the walkie-talkie as some dead weight, and just start climbing.
All right. So as you start climbing, scaling the side of the pyramid. You can see that whether it was the blast from the damage, from the sandstorm, whether it's just whatever sort of mass chaos is going on, it's probably a mass delusion. Now that you think of it. You don't remember the pyramids looking this nice. Like they look much nicer, much newer than they did half an hour ago. But as you start to climb up, you can see there's this arc of fire through the sandstorm, and it cuts out, and on the step in front of you lands one of these guys. You can see that there's the glowing embers of a jetpack that has just cooled off, and he points his gun at you. He's like, so you're kind of like chest high at his feet, and he barks something at you in a language you don't understand, and he shakes his head. He's like, "Go back with everyone else. The High Lord approaches. You will all be subjugated and worship him as we do." Come back to you. "No, I'm telling you, this is the mummy we were supposed to resurrect. It is clearly marked as chamber 2.
I like to think that at this point I opened my mouth to speak.
Yeah.
And all these bugs start crawling out. Not a mummy skill, just because I've been dead for so long.
That's fair. Yeah. Your first act of resuscitation is to expel all of the scarabs and dung beetles that have been, slowly gnawing away at your jerkified mummy flesh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm very much picturing the not a mummy scene from Hocus Pocus when the henchman finally like cuts his mouth open and like coughs out all these moths.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's.
So yeah, my attempt to shout and scream at them ends up with me just vomiting up a bunch of bugs.
Okay.
It's going really well.
The one who's in the headdress of the royal priest, which doesn't look right to you. Like, it's close, but no cigar. He kind of shrugs and says, "Well, one mummy is as good as the next," and he grabs someone and he whips out a sickle sword. He opens the person's throat and just covers you in blood. There's a lot to unpack there, and I cannot wait to unpack that with your character. That not again is the first thing that she says after being showered in blood. What do? You can clearly see there are two other people here who look like they are drugged out of their mind and are also going to be sacrificed. And there are the two. Let's be honest. Like back in the day, the priests of Egypt, they were being, one of the highest castes. They were fed the best. These guys look a little too pale to be priests of Egypt. They look a little too. You know what? You don't know what's going on, but you think you could take it. Just say.
Do I know anything about, not me, the person Ginny, but would Kit know anything about what ritual or whatever they're trying to do?
Yeah, give me a mind roll.
Okay.
That's right. Miss Theory says these guys look expendable.
I rolled a 15, but with my mind, that's 26.
Well, remember, a 15, you got to look at the bonus chart
Oh,
on the bottom. So plus 2.
Sorry.
No,
With a 13.
So in
So
Torg,
good at this.
you have your attributes, and your attributes are the baseline for your skills, and then you get adds into your skills, and so that forms sort of the base that you need to look at. And then when you roll the d20, you look at a bonus chart, and that tells you whether you get pluses or minuses to this final skill. Now, this difficulty was only 10. So at a 13, you know two things for certain. This is some Book of the Dead stuff. Gotta remember our channels. Some Book of the Dead stuff, which means they're trying to, they've obviously successfully reanimated your corpse. They have ripped you out of paradise, and you still don't know the punchline to the joke. 2, the way this works is animate the mummy, bind the mummy into service.
Ooh, I don't want that.
This is definitely...
So those two things combined, I'm pissed. I like to imagine that at this point my eyes start glowing.
Okay.
Also not a mummy power, but I'm just going to hope that this works.
Hey, no, go for it.
That my eyes start glowing.
Remember, drama. As
Yeah.
long as it's dramatic, Torg is embracing it.
So really excited about that, but like so angry that my rage, I'm assuming how I'm entombed, there's like the cover on it.
Yeah.
In my anger that I still don't know the end of that joke, everything else is secondary, including the subservience. But I want to push the thing off, the top off the thing onto the guy next to me who said things.
Okay, so sadly, this will be a strength roll,
Oh, that's
which
not
is
gonna go well.
not
Yeah.
not a great roll for you. So, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and give me the strength roll.
Okay.
So, what's your base strength?
6.
All right, you got to get to 12 here.
Cool.
So, but don't worry, you are awakening as a storm knight. So you have your possibility. You got your cards you can use.
Awesome.
So we're gonna come back to you here in a second. So this is your goal. You're gonna throw this off and try and crush the head priest. Zorba, what do? Guy's got a gun. You can hear the sound of gunfire below. It doesn't sound like they're looking for a lot of volunteers to be triumphant processioners for whoever this High Lord is. And really, this guy looks like he's got a gun, but he also looks sort of like an extra in one of these comic book movies that you were about to sign up for.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to sort of puff myself up with as much like extravagant, aggrieved movie star bluster I can manage.
Okay.
And I'm just going to, as I sort of tear into him verbally, grab the gun's muzzle and pull it away from him and say, "Get that thing out of my face. What do you think this is? Some kind of Alec Baldwin shoot?"
Ooh. Too soon? All right, so what I want from you is I want an intimidate, and I want so there's a multi-action. So in Torg, you can take as many actions as you want in a turn. So we're gonna, the chat is like, dang, burn. So you're gonna roll once, and we're gonna apply it to intimidate first, and then we'll apply it to your strength roll second. Okay. So basically what happens, you're going to try and intimidate him to make him easier to get the gun out of his hand. So I want you both to roll.
I got an 18.
You got an 18, which is a +5 to your totals. You got a 20. So in Torg, when you roll a 20, they explode. So what that means is go ahead and put that 20 down in front of you. Oh, you can leave it in sleep. Oh, that's in there. Yeah. Now roll again.
All right.
23 is not bad. So let's start with Gabe here. So you got an 18. That amounts to a +5 to your skill. So what is your intimidate?
My intimidate is I don't have any particular skill adds in it, so it's just spirit, correct?
Yes.
Okay, then that is 6.
And then do you what? Well, let me ask you, what interaction skill do you have that maybe would work better than?
Yeah, I imagine that as a taunt.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a taunt. So what's your taunt at?
So my taunt would be a base of 16. So
Okay.
Charisma 13 and 3 adds in taunt.
All right, and then your +5 basically turns into a +3 because you're taking 2 actions. So you got a 19. So here's the thing: do you? So that is a outstanding, or that's a good success against this guy. So what that means is you can give him a -4 to resisting your gun pulling thing, or you can give yourself a +4 bonus to the gun pulling thing. I would give yourself a +4.
Okay, I'll
All right.
do that.
Now, as this happens, as you begin to struggle to take this gun away, something ignites inside you. Everything kind of is tinged blue and red, and you feel as if something has awakened. You have always been a great actor and a better bridge player. But there's something in you that ignites right now that makes you feel not just like Zorba the actor, but like all of those great roles that you've played. A hero. And so, this being your moment of crisis, I will give you your 4 destiny cards and your 3 possibility cards, or your 3 possibility chips.
All right.
Not just Zorba, but a Soviet doctor. That's worth that is worth a possibility, Mr. Furious. Ben, good to see you. Evan, good to see you as well. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Jenny before we get to her roll. Jenny, just tell me when to stop shuffling. Dramatic pause.
Now.
All right, so I'm going to give you each a Cosm card. So in Torg, we have a lot of cards. We've got Destiny cards, we've got Drama cards, and we have Cosm cards.
Really
Now,
look at him.
you're allowed to look at them. Cosm cards reinforce the rules of the Nile Empire. And now that the Cosm is spreading out, you each also get an additional additional destiny. The other rules of the Nile Empire that you might want to know for tonight, you can spend another possibility on. So if you really want to succeed, you can play a second. So, we will come back to your pulling roll. What if you add a total of 8 to your strength? What does that get you to?
14.
All right. Do you want to keep it as a 14, or would you like to spend a possibility to jack that up even further?
That actually sounds really fun, so
Okay.
I want to do that.
All right. So spend a possibility point. You're at a 23 right now. Roll another d20.
Okay. 16.
So that is a 39. What is a 39 on your chart?
11.
All right. So 11 plus your strength of
17.
So you got a 17. So in a fit of strength, you enraged at the fact that not at the fact that they brought you back from the dead,
Yeah.
not at the fact that they're going to try and enslave you, but at the
Not
fact
great, but
that the Cleopatra joke will never.
been
ever.
waiting 3,500 years in the afterlife for this.
I'm telling you. So you pick it up and you slam it down on this guy's head. So we're going to do a damage roll. So here's how this works. I have his toughness. It's not great. The base damage of the stone sarcophagus lid is going to be 8. Strength plus 5. So you're at 11. Okay. And because you hit him so well, you get to roll 2 6-sided dice and add it to it.
6.
All right, what did we say we were at?
11. So
Oh,
17.
17. All right, there is another little spout of blood, and the other guy goes, "Oh crap!" And he goes running into the hallway. You hear the sounds of thunder punctuated by really high snaps of noise that seem to drown out everything else and kind of echo through the halls. All right, so we're going to take that +3 from your first roll, add it to your strength.
Okay.
What are we at?
The +3.
Yeah.
So
3 plus your strength.
that would be 10.
Okay, and then we're gonna add your +4 from your taunt, so you're at 14.
Mm-hmm.
It's good enough to get the gun, but not good enough if you want to spin it around and turn it on him. Do you have anything that might give you a little bit of a bonus to this action? Or are you okay with just ripping the gun out of his hands?
Yeah, I'm just gonna rip the gun out of his hands and just chuck it down the pyramid
Okay.
and keep booking it back up.
Okay, you can see there's several entrances off to the sides.
Oh.
Right, that opened up. And out of one of them, there's this guy coming, one of the guys you saw sneaking into the pyramid, and he is screaming, "Bloodthirsty Mummy! Bloodthirsty Mummy! And he hits the edge of the pyramid and just kind of starts to tumble down. And you can see that there are several more of those arcs of fire. They seem to be converging on your location.
So these are the ones that sort of
jetpacks.
teleported that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
The
jetpacks.
jetpacks. I'm gonna look at the jetpacks, look at the guns, kick myself for throwing the gun down the steps of the pyramid, and say, "There's no such thing as mummies," and run into the tunnel.
All right, so you go running into the tunnel. You can see that there were guard patrols, and there are guards who have clearly taken bullet wounds. You can see there are several more of there's this gout of flame that comes shooting out of one side of the hall, pretty far down, and you see these 2 other people who kind of come out, and they're like, out of this side hall. The 2 people who were the other sacrifices have started to move away.
I'm glad they're okay so far.
Zero Earth Element is incredibly painful. I tried to give that guy a manual on how to fall down the pyramid. It was a step-by-step guide, but he didn't pay attention. So, what do? The high priest who resurrected you clearly has... he's not getting back up. You can see he has he has this weird metallic... It looks almost like a rod, or it's where you get your pistol from.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna assume it's like a back scratcher for a while,
Yeah,
probably.
Until it goes off once, you'll never make that mistake again.
Oh well. Yeah, I think that's the first thing I want to do is check that guy out, because clearly something's off here.
Yes. So as you sort of check him up, pat him down, you find the pistol. That somehow you have sort of an instinctual understanding that this seems to be.
Did not point it at myself.
Don't point it at yourself. It's what the laws of the laws of drama are in effect. So grabbing an unfamiliar weapon and instinctually knowing how to use it, we're gonna go with that. But also, you can see that he has the tablet that resurrected you is made of a green stone that you don't recognize, but you do recognize the hieroglyphs on it. And you also see that he has a small brown leather-bound it's weird. It doesn't look like anything you recognize. It's got a leather loop around it. When you kind of undo it, it's filled with like a thick papyrus, but in like sheaves as opposed to rolls.
Well, that just sounds like nonsense that no one could use.
And there's a bunch of weird symbols in there. They are not hieroglyphics. They are not any of the languages that you are familiar with, Phoenician or Linear B, also known as, right?
These people are probably from space.
That's as the great gods once taught you back in the day when you built their landing platforms. Yeah, high five. You can have a possibility for that.
I'll take this one back.
Okay, that's fair.
Thank you. Ooh.
I don't know if I shouldn't encourage her, Guildmaster Scott. So, as you come around the corner down the hall, you can clearly see a mummy kneeling over one of these people in the weird outfits who has been crushed by an unadorned sarcophagus lid.
Yeah, that would look suspicious.
And the mummy is holding a gun. Right.
And the mummy is holding a gun. Well, she's got a gun to her side, a jade tablet, and then what seems to be a leather-bound journal.
You said there were some fallen guards on.
Yes.
How deep are we within sort of this tunnel at this point?
You are about 15 yards in. You can still see the light behind you. You can still see the gouts of flame or like the light, and you can hear this weird whooshing noise that goes with it. There are screams coming from further in the pyramid.
Further within the pyramid. Do any of the fallen guards look like they have anything of value?
As you begin to kind of look them over, one of them has another Tommy gun. You can find 3 more magazines of ammunition. One of them has a petrol bomb on them, but they all have this. They're all kind of in this. The guards that are dead here look like they were extras on your movie. What was your first movie that you said you were a part of?
Oh, Florence of the Desert.
Florence of the Desert. They look like, or your rival, Harrison Solo. His movie, Kentucky Smith. These look like they're extras from that movie, which is weird because you know that an hour ago, everyone who was probably in here was wearing, like modern day security guard.
So when you say they look like extras from that, they're wearing some kind of like old, strange Egyptian costume?
No, these guys look like they're straight out of the 30s.
Okay.
So these were the actual pyramid guards.
Okay. Do any of them look like they would be of the same rough build as me, and that their outfits would be like less hole filled?
Yeah, for a possibility, yes.
All right, we'll take it.
I will always allow you to use possibilities for narrative effects. So
I'm going to grab one of those bodies and sort of drag it off to a corner where I hope the mummy is not watching me, and dress myself as a 1930s Egyptian guard.
Okay. As you were doing that, what are you doing?
So I want to find out a way to like take all this stuff. I'm assuming there's a bag somewhere. Like maybe this guy was carrying a
Yeah,
bag.
this guy definitely has a leather satchel.
But I still keep hearing like the high pitched or the high frequency sounds. I hear some screams. Probably not into that.
I mean, I don't know what kind of mummy you are.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not into that, just to be clear. So I feel like, because I feel like I was around a while ago. Do I know anything cool, like any cool passages that'll make it easier to move about inside this pyramid?
what kind of skills do you have? Because we've established that your character was sort of like an architect, accountant, mathematician is what we're going with. So what kind of skills or maybe spells do you have that could help you in this situation?
Well, I'm really good at evidence analysis and
Do you have find?
find.
Let's give me a find roll.
Okay. I rolled an 11.
Okay.
Wait, okay. So I rolled a 10, but I had a find of 1. Do I add the 1 to the roll or the 1 to the end?
You had your base value. So on your character sheet, you see how it has attribute, skill adds, and then value. Just add all the way across, and that's your base.
So that's a 14.
Yep. And then what did you roll on the die?
I rolled a 10.
So a 10 explodes for you. So roll again.
Okay, I rolled a 5.
So you're at a 15. So that is
A plus 2.
all right. So what's your total? So it'll be.
Just forgot all my numbers.
I do that too.
14.
So a 14. As you look around, you know there's got to be something close. As you start to look around, you start to see the telltale signs on the walls that one of the interior construction passages is near here. And that's when you see some guy come into the corner wearing the strangest thing you've ever seen. It's like a short linen shirt that's open, and then another linen shirt underneath that seems to be like khaki, and like
That just sounds like nuts.
it's weird. His legs are entirely covered by what seems to be sort of almost mummy-esque tubes that run down his legs. You see the mummy who is currently looking at the wall, and that's when you hear from behind you, from the entrance outside, "That's him! That's the one who stole my gun!" And you can see that there are two of those guards that have like these strange soldiers from wherever they came from. That one of them has no weapon and the other one has a Tommy gun, and he starts to spray the hallway. So we're going to jump into initiative rounds.
All right.
So in initiative, in Torg, we don't do die rolls for initiative. We don't establish an initiative order in kind of the traditional sense. We have the drama deck. And so what I'm going to do is, yes, drama. Lily, we miss you. So Gabe, I'll ask you to tell me when to stop shuffling these cards.
Stop.
Do you want me to cut?
Sure.
Like that?
Absolutely.
All right. So our first card is That's Just Great. Villains will go first.
Oh.
Heroes will suffer a setback. And you will get to roll. We can add an extra obstacle to the scene. So here's what's going to happen here. You get to put one card into play at the start of combat, correct? Due to situational awareness?
Yes.
All right. So what card do you want to add into your pool immediately?
I'm going to put opponent failed into my pool.
That's nice. So and Greg, please tell me if I got this correctly. The errata on that card says that it now has to be, they fail on an action that targets you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then, so here's what's going to happen. The one guy is going to try and charge at you.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy is, as I said, spraying and praying. So defend and trick are the approved actions. So on the drama cards, they tell us who goes first, if one side or another has a bonus or a penalty, and then an approved action. If you take the approved action, even as part of a multiple action, you will earn a free destiny card. Now remember, in this case, in the Nile Empire, you are able to spend a second possibility on a roll if you feel like you need to. So he is going to spray and pray and attempt to flood the corridor with bull. That's not great. 9 is a -1 to his fire combat of 11. So he hits you because even with a 10, he hits your dodge of 8.
Okay.
So your toughness is 10, and the damage on the gun is 13. So the bad news is he hits you.
Mhm.
The good news is he doesn't hit you hard enough to do anything, but inflict 2 shock. So the bullets spray off the walls. Some of the stone kind of peppers you. One of the bullets kind of grazes you. You don't take damage, but you take 2 shock. You are a little bit closer to getting knocked out.
All right.
Now, as I said, there is a setback that is going on here. Zorba, you step back as this guy charges you, and you step on a stone in the hall. You definitely feel it click beneath your foot. There is a whirring noise in the walls of the pyramid. You know that whirring noise. You designed that whirring noise. Things are about to get really, let's just say, dicey in the hall. Now, you can see this guy has stepped back. These little streaks of red light accompanied by the sound, like that high-pitched ping of thunder, like echo down the hall. You then see this guy in what seems to be a very fanciful or magical version of like the Pharaoh's bodyguard armor, just yell in fury and try to tackle the other guy. Ooh, Zorba, what is your unarmed defense?
My unarmed defense is going to be. Is that simply my dodge?
It's simply your unarmed combat skill.
Oh, then that is a 6.
Okay.
Can I play this? Did he target me with his?
He is targeting you with this. Would you like to spend your opponent fails right now?
Yes.
Okay. So he leaps into the air to try and tackle you. You kind of how does he fail as he leaps at you? How does he not connect with you?
Well, I'm assuming whatever is coming out of the walls is connecting with him first.
Okay. So the good news is that the blades that come spinning out of the walls connect with him first. The bad news is you are now covered with the entrails of this guard as he is just sliced in half, and you can see dust starts coming out from between the seams of the stone, and you can hear more of these metal mechanical grinding noises. You get the feeling that this whole corridor is about to be filled. You can't go back out the way you came in. You really don't know that it's safe to go behind you. Your only option is to go in the room with the mummy or stand here and see what else happens.
Is it my turn?
It is now the hero's turn. You can do whatever. You can go in any order you want.
Well, I am going to hit the deck and crawl towards the mummy room.
Okay. You manage to get inside the room. There is a guy who has been crushed by a sarcophagus lid. There is a dead body on the ground whose throat was slit. And then there is a mummy who is currently like pressing on the wall. You can't tell if it's blind. You can't tell what is going on. But it is currently trying to do something with the wall.
Just gotta say, this meeting sounds like a lifelong friendship.
It's the end of my turn. Do I place?
You may play 1 card into your pool. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play supporter into my pool.
All right.
Okay,
So, if I may, so in Torg, you have a hand of destiny cards, and normally you can play those whenever you want, except in combat. You have to play at the end of your turn. You get to play one of your cards into your action pool, and those are the cards that you have accessible to you in the fight. Now, Zorba has a perk called Situational Awareness that allows him to put a card into the pool at the start of combat.
So I'm trying to find the secret passage that I know about. I just watched this crazy nonsense go down with this person who is wearing ridiculous clothing.
And you do find it, by the way. You find it. If you want to, you can press the stone, and you know that part of the wall will just actuate and spin on a pivot.
Okay.
As long as all of the proper rituals and maintenance has been taken care of.
Here's hope. Watching, because you said you described the people who were in the hallway as wearing this like exorbitant pharaoh-like stuff.
Yeah.
Is it something where it's one of those kind of like how the priest guy who I crushed just looked a little off?
Yeah. And in fact, you know what? If we're gonna be honest, remember in your history lessons about that one guy who rose to power in Egypt and was like, we all worship the sun god now, and there are no more pantheons. And then he was, mummified as a heretic and sent down to the underworld alive. Looks a lot closer to those guys than it does to the true high priestly garb and the pharaohic garb of those who worshipped, Osiris and Ra and Isis.
Yes, that is a history lesson that I, of course, remember.
Of course you remember.
Obviously.
Yeah, no, of course.
Hands
down.
Then I'm going to say, do we know how to turn off the worry? Do I know how to turn this off? Or is it just like once it's tripped, it's tripped?
And once it's tripped for a while.
Okay. Then I open the portal.
Okay.
Portal.
It's technically a portal.
Yeah.
Into another part of the pyramid.
into right behind the
Into
door.
right behind the wall.
Adjacent space.
I'm going to start calling all doorways portals.
Absolutely.
So I open the portal, that's a doorway.
Yes, Greg. Greg said Kit's escape is predicated on King Tutankhamun's getting the extended warranty on his pyramid. Possibility, sir. That is. So you press it and it opens a crack.
Ooh.
Gets the warranty expired.
Yeah.
But, so that's your setback. It doesn't open the way you want it to. You're going to have to find a way to kind of force it open, lever it open, something else, but you can clearly hear. You hear people yelling in a language you don't understand. Remember, you guys don't necessarily speak the same language. You clearly hear, I don't care what blades there are. You know we're supposed to capture every stormer in the area. Get him or end him. And you can hear the sounds of people kind of very slowly coming down the hallway.
And worrying is continuing.
The worrying is continuing. All right. So the next card is the calm before the storm. Don't know what that means. You get to put one of your cards into play.
Okay.
And actually, that wasn't your whole turn. Like you found it on the last turn. So do you want to try and do anything to open this door?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the calm before the storm
So I'm
says.
going to play my second chance into my deck.
That's a good card. Calm before the storm says heroes go first, but you will all be fatigued, which means you will take 2 shock at the start of the turn. And you are immune to fatigue, right? That's a mummy. You're like, I don't get tired. It's been exhausting. Like, you were standing before the press, now jetpack guy, some dude just got ripped open by bus law, like Kentucky Smith's movies, and it's just... Can we trademark Kentucky Smith? Sounds like it would be a good bourbon.
Yeah.
I'd have a glass of Kentucky Smith.
That's
Well, watching the Kentucky Smiths franchise.
Yeah, no, I feel like the whole thing just kind of merges together quite well.
It was actually when a actor shells a product, what do they call it?
Endorsement.
Endorsement.
Yeah.
It was an endorsement that I was trying to get for the bourbon tie-in.
Yeah.
And my rival.
And can curse you, Kentucky Smith.
He got that one.
You're going to be fatigued. You're going to take 2 shock damage. But this round, aim can be used for anything, not just ranged attacks. So if you look at your cheat sheet that I gave you, Gabe, and that I took back from you last week. So you want that one? And I will find the other one for later. We'll deal with that. Oh, here we go. Aim, you can sacrifice a turn aiming to get +4 to in this case, your next skill test, if you wish to do that. Also, attack and defend are the approved actions. So, Zorba, you see the wall kind of shift. The mummy, Kit, what do you do?
So here's the thing. I feel like I could escape, but I don't like those guys doing things outside. So I would like to attack because I'm so angry that these people are coming in and like defiling my home that I helped build, setting off those traps that I'm actually really proud of, but now I can't leave through them. So I kind of wanted to attack the one who was spraying those crazy fast loud lights.
You want to do what to him?
I want to attack him with my Harmonic Wave.
What does that do?
Yeah, that is because I'm so good at math, which I assume is why this works. So Harmonic Wave is a spell that I know because I'm so good at math that allows me to, what was it?
I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay, it causes like a frequency wave inside someone.
I like how excited Jenny was about this. Harmonic wave changes the frequency within an object or organism. The mathematicians often joke calling it being on the same wavelength as somebody. You motion with her fingers, starting with a single index finger, then both index fingers, then 4, then 8. I assume just regular fingers.
I don't have that many index
Yeah,
fingers.
it's like, I'm sorry, it only works if you have 8 index fingers.
No!
I'm sorry. Wow, it causes 10 damage that ignores armor. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to make your alteration roll.
Okay.
So you're going to kind of look out in the hallway and be like, okay, give me the
Okay.
alteration roll.
Okay, so my alteration,
What is the base alteration?
my base alteration is 14.
Okay, and a 4 is not a great roll.
It is not a great roll.
So
that's
would you
only
like?
a 6.
Yeah, would you like to spend a possibility on that?
I would love to spend a possibility.
Hey, why don't you spend a possibility on that?
I get to roll again.
You get to roll again, and if it's less than a 10, it will count as a 10. Otherwise,
I got a 15,
all right, 15 plus your initial 4 gets you to 19.
so it gets me to 19, so that's a plus 6 to my 14, which gets me to 20.
All right, so
I'm better at this math.
yeah, at a 20, that is a good success. So what that means is with Harmonic Wave, and I will make cheat sheets for us both for next week.
That is the 10 plus 1 BD damage.
Oh,
But I don't know what BD stands for.
bonus die damage, so you get to roll a d6 and add it to it.
Okay. Infinity.
All right, so right now we're at 15.
Okay.
An infinity sign on the d6 counts as 5, and then it explodes. So you're at 15 damage right now.
Okay. 3.
So you're at 18. Oh, curses. So you're at 18 damage. So this guard who is coming down the hall, you can see that there are more shadows. It looks like there are more of these guards coming. You kind of... I don't know.
I
You
would
make,
make a jazz hand.
you jazz hands at him, and he just kind of stops. Some blood trickles out of his nose, and then something clearly cracks inside his chest, and he drops to the ground. The mummy just saved your life, which is not the weirdest thing I've ever said in a Torg game, but we're keeping track. And you can see beyond. You can see where the mummy left, right? She came to stand over you and made some weird hand gestures, and then you saw this guy basically crumple from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You can smell kind of the stale air coming through this. A part of the wall has started to shift.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's stuck.
I'm going to look at the mummy, make jazz hands, and run to the half-open door and just throw my weight into it as much as I can.
All right, so I like how we have now gone down the path of physical labor, which these two characters just not great at. So, like, I think next week we will engage in intense philosophical debate versus with our two
Tanks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kowalski and our Templar will just sit around sipping Sazeracs and discussing the merits of the Cyber Bible. All right, so go ahead. What is your base strength?
My base strength is 7.
Okay, so you're trying to get up to a 14 to unjam this door.
Okay.
So you're at a 7.
And the aim, so we can with the special aiming,
Yes.
we can forego a turn
And
to
get
add.
+4 to the next turn.
I'm going to
Really just kind of...
like forego this turn to sort of push on the next turn with
Okay.
that bonus.
I will allow it. And Evan in the chat has already picked up on the fact that Zorba has stunt doubled for all of this.
Absolutely.
All right. So at this point, there are no guards in the hall, but you can hear more of them coming down. So our next card is...
Put a thing.
Oh yeah, put a card in each. Ooh. It's worth a try. So heroes go first, and heroes get inspiration. And any action is the approved action. So whatever you want to do this turn, you will gain a destiny card
Awesome.
from it. Now, because I have my... I'm used to my other GM screen. Should be able to remember this off the top of my head, but I do not. So when you get inspiration, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, yep, you all recover 2 shock. So you recover nothing. You get the 2 shock that you lost last turn for the fatigue.
Mhm.
So any action is an approved action. Any skill may be attempted as an interaction attack, which means if you want to use mathematics, if you want to use persuade, if somebody wanted to use evidence analysis to totally confoozle someone, you could do that this turn. Right, so long as you are successful.
Yeah.
You got to be successful on the skill.
And an interaction skill is intimidating.
No, you can use any skill for the interaction tactic you
Oh,
want to.
any skill for an interaction.
All right, you're gonna try and throw yourself against the wall. Oh,
Can I go first?
Sure.
Okay. Because I want to help out. I want to use. Can I see that you're like sizing it up?
Yeah.
And you're trying to do this. You seem more trustworthy than those jerks. So I wanted to use my other math spell. How many spells am I on? I'm not
no.
going to tell me to stop.
There are no spells per day. As long as you keep succeeding, good night.
Awesome.
By the way, Greg, just so you know, Jenny really liked the idea of all of the mathematics spells, and I hope you can see how excited she is about using these. In the
I'm so pumped.
So what's your other mathematics spell?
So my
Does you
other,
have 3?
I have 3.
Okay, so this is the second.
Yes, this is corporeal defarction, which is
Did
where
you say that on the channel?
where I can pass through openings of 10 centimeters across.
Okay.
So I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to use this spell to get through the opening
And kind of.
and then like help see if there's like something jammed or otherwise help from the inside.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and give me the alteration roll.
Oh, nice.
I'm so impressed that you got all of the spell information on the spell sheet because my handwriting is neither that small nor that neat. It just looked like graphite vomited into a little box.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I rolled a 10,
Okay.
so do I still keep going?
Well, if you rolled a 10, yes, you got to keep going. So we're starting at a base of 14. You're at.
Starting at base of 14.
Yep.
And I'm adding, or I rolled 16, so I get to add 3, so 17.
All right. So 17 is a good success.
With a good success.
Or no, sorry, it's a normal success.
Never
Would you like to
mind.
spend
I'm
anything?
going to play the supporter card to add 3
That
to
is a good
your total.
success.
Okay. With a good success, I can go in. I was really excited. I did spell homework. An opening of 1 centimeter across.
Okay, so you just kind of. What does this look like? Like.
So I'm picturing it like in very cartoon terms. It says I'm picturing me just kind of like.
You become an Egyptian drawing.
Oh, I
a
like that better.
two-dimensional, like.
I was picturing this video I saw of a cat who went underneath a door.
Yeah, you're a little boneless. You're vibrating
Yeah.
at the right frequency to kind of
Yeah.
get through the. So you get behind her. The mummy has now left you. Went through the opening in her own escape portal. You do get a destiny card for succeeding that. You see the problem. The problem is there is a skeleton behind it, and the femur has kind of been jammed in. But the problem with these old tombs is that they're filled with old tomb builders, and the problem with you recognize this person. Yeah, one of your trusted assistants from back in the day.
Had that recognizable of a skeleton?
Nope, not at all. But you recognize the necklace around their neck as a sign of office, and they got stuck back there. So if you're going to help, what you'll do is you're now at a total of +5.
Mhm.
So that's how helping works. You get a +1 to things. So because you're aiming, you're at +4.
Yep.
Her help gives you +5, and actually, if you spend the time to remove the thigh jam, you will actually decrease the difficulty down to 12 from 14.
Yes, I will do
Okay.
that.
Okay, and so those bonuses are to my total in the end.
Yes.
Right, okay. So I rolled a 13, which is a bonus of 1.
To your strength of 7.
7.
So you're at 8 plus 5 is 13. That's enough. So you kind of slam against it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing pivots. And you are now in near total darkness, save for the light kind of coming through here. But you think you remember the way. All right.
All right.
Do you trust her in the dark?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I can't see how following a mummy into a tight, dark corridor would lead to anything but terror. All right, so what I need from you is we're going to call it an evidence analysis roll. As
Okay.
you start to head down, it goes to the left and the right. Let's see if you know which way to go.
Okay. 20.
This game brought to you by Exploding Dice. So a 33 is a +10 to your evidence analysis.
Okay, and my evidence analysis was already a 12, so 22.
All right. So, the mummy
will
seems
never
to know
roll this again.
exactly
Yeah.
where it's going, and the grinding noise seems to have risen to a squeal and then kind of a stop, almost like a car that its engine has seized, and you can hear more boots coming down the hall.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to pull out what was once my e-cigarette and is now just a pack of cigarettes.
Okay, pull out the lighter.
And pull out the lighter and light it and use that to sort of get my bearings.
Immediately, there's a whoosh as all of these cobwebs sort of ignite. The fire goes past you, just saying, a little scary for dried out mummy. But you guys make your way through the inside of the pyramid. As you make your way to the top, to sort of a kind of like an observation room that you see down below, there are massive, for what looks to you to be like World War II style tanks and trucks kind of coming out of this roiling storm. Metal machines.
So we're looking outside of the pyramid?
Metal machines of like you can't even put the math together of what it would take to build one of these things. They look to be some sort of chaos beast that has arisen out of the Nile. But suddenly noise comes out of the man you were traveling with's chest, and you hear, Zorba, have you made it to the top? We're almost there.
Yes, keep it down, but yes, I'm almost up. There's someone else with me. Don't take them.
Listen, we need everyone, just get to the top. We're coming in hot. How are you? I've seen your movies. You're at least familiar with guns, yes?
Yes.
Good. Look for the ladder.
Very good.
There's just a bunch of crackling noises. It seems like he has he's talking to this metal box. It seems to have fire because it sounds like it's crackling on the inside. And the sound of wind, and then a voice comes out of it. It's probably necromancy. I'm just going to be honest. He's probably speaking with the dead. And you can see, kind of off to the side, this metal and rope ladder kind of unfurls and kind of is flapping around in the wind, but it seems to be fairly stationary, as if something is hovering above your sight. You can't see what it is.
All right.
You see this. It looks like someone has taken lead and stretched it out into tubes and attached it to 2 ropes.
This is the crazy world I woke up into.
You are definitely not in
Kansas anymore.
I was going to say like
Karnak
Hamanoptera.
anymore.
Yeah. Karnak, yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's
there's-
better.
that-
That's better.
yeah, possibility.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so
I will turn to the mummy and say, thank you. You are the nicest horrible monstrosity I've ever met, in or out of Hollywood. And book it to the rope ladder and start climbing.
You know,
He
I don't know
seemed
what he
very
said, but
sincere.
his yeah, I didn't understand it, but his tone seemed really polite.
his tone was really polite. His words were soothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you do, however, hear there's more of those kind of high-pitched whistling noises, and
Oh.
sparks come flying off the stones around you.
Oh no, thank you. I'm gonna follow that nice man.
All right. So you get out there and you grab onto the rope ladder and you look up to see not a helicopter. Is that a Zeppelin? And then, kind of next to you, the mummy has grabbed onto the other side of the rope ladder, and the Zeppelin slowly turns, and you can hear the chunk, 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 chunk of machine gun fire as two biplanes start coming down out of the sky. And you hear from above the voice. Gone is the tin can crackling static. Kind of leans over. We're going to crank you up as fast as we can, but you better start climbing. And
All
the
right.
Zeppelin starts to head out from the pyramids. You can see there's fire. Looks like parts of Cairo are on fire. Strangely enough, you both see there are explosions going off in the city, and whenever an explosion goes off, there seems to be someone who is silhouetted as if leaping from one rooftop to the next, possibly in a trench coat. And it looks like there are just cool people who don't look at explosions, like throughout Cairo. There are people like engaged in fisticuffs with some of these strange guards seeming to defend the people below. And the ladder's slowly being pulled up, but you see these two giant birds that are spitting fire coming right at you.
I am going to climb for the life of me.
All right, these are going to be maneuver rolls, and here's how this is going to work. There's no chance of you falling at this point, unless I say unless you roll one. There's no chance of you falling. Getting up to assist in the chase, the better you roll your maneuver, the quicker you'll get the rope ladder.
Okay.
So go ahead and both of you give me your maneuver rolls.
And this is just Dex. Oh, okay. 11. There rolled an 18, so the 5 plus my Dex.
Yeah, and you have no adds in maneuver? Okay, so an 11 will get you up, not this round, but next round.
Okay.
Okay, so my dex is 6. I rolled an 8, which is a -2. I'm going to spend some.
You should probably spend a
I'm going to
possibility.
spend some possibility.
All right, so you're going to roll another d20. What was your initial roll?
8.
8, okay. Roll another d20.
That's an 18.
There we go. We haven't had to explain if you roll. So if you spend a possibility and you roll less than 10, so if you roll a 1 through 9, it counts as a 10, but it doesn't explode. All right, so 26.
26, which for me is a 9, so that's a 15.
All right, so you will get up there this round.
Mhm.
Polite man climbs this thing as if he was born to it. He may not be a professional ladder climber, but he has played one. So you get up there, and as you get to the top, this man kind of grabs your hand and kind of one arm pulls you up. He's got aviator glasses on. He's wearing what seems to be kind of a military jacket that says Quinn on the lapel, or not on the lapel, on the name tag. Get to the aft of the Zeppelin, man the machine gun. Is that a mummy?
It is Egypt.
Is she chasing you or helping you?
She's all right.
Haul her up! All right, so they point back, and you can see that there is a gunner's seat there with...
All right, I will, after making sure that aft is the...
Yeah, you start running to the up. Now aft!
Yes, and I'll take my place at the machine gun.
All right, So what we're going to need from you is a heavy weapons roll, which I realize you may not have,
I do not.
but we're gonna just see what happens.
Okay.
Hopefully this is not a Sean Connery, they got us, son, kind of moment. So he's gonna get one shot. You're gonna get up on the deck of the Zeppelin. So go ahead and take your shot.
20.
Oh, come on.
18.
So that's a 38.
38.
Do you want to spend a possibility on? So here's the thing.
Why not?
When we finally start when we do the one shot in 2 weeks, you're gonna have no possibility, and then when we start the actual campaign, you will have 3 possibility again. So spend all of your cards if you can. Spend all of your possibilities. This is a learn to play for you guys.
Zorba is just an absolute gambling addict. He is spending his possibility.
All right.
Like poker chips.
So we said you were at 36.
Mm-hmm.
So now roll another d20.
It would be a 12.
So 48. So 48 is a 13 plus 13.
Mm-hmm.
And then to your to your heavy weapons.
Mm-hmm. Which I do not have.
So it'll default to Dex.
Okay, which is 6.
All right. So 6. Oh, Becca. Hey, Becca, good to see you. She reminded me you're actually at 50. You were at 38. So 50 is plus, still plus 13. But good catch. You can have a possibility for that one, Becca. All right. So 6 plus 13 is 19. The machine gun kicks like a mule and roars like a lion. But you put a line of shots down the side of one of these biplanes. Like, what is going on? So you get to roll 1 bonus die of damage.
4.
All right. Smoke comes erupting out of the biplane's engine as one of the shots kind of catches it. And the plane starts to do a slow spiral, but the other one is coming straight at you. So we're going to draw the next card just to see if they get a shot first, or if you guys go first. Ow! Weird science. In your desire for fame and the respect of your peers, you forgot one very important thing. Catch the dog. Energy weapon attacks and science tests are favored this round, which means if you don't like the first roll, you can roll again. Attacking or maneuvering are considered approved actions, and heroes go first. So let's start with Kit. As you climb to the top, this guy kind of lifts you up and says something when you don't understand. He slips into ancient Egyptian.
Hey, that's nice.
Listen, we don't have a whole lot of time. Can you do anything about that? And he points to the...
So, great question. I have a question about one of my spells. One of my math spells is Calculate Weakness.
Okay.
That is, I can find a weakness in one heavily armored opponent's armor. Would that also work for finding a weakness in, like, a biplane?
Yeah, I
Or
don't
this
know.
weird, scary bird?
Yeah, this weird, scary bird.
Yeah, then I would like to do that so I could use that to let everyone know what this bird's weakness is.
All right. So that means you, if you follow her advice, you can make a called shot, and you're, in addition to the normal effects, you get armor piercing 2.
All right.
Against this. So are you going to try and write this out? Do you pull out your...
Yeah, because it only works if I do the equations. So having nothing else in front of me, I just unwrap my arm a little bit.
Yeah, and you're using the...
Grab the writing utensil out of what's his guy's pocket.
Yeah, he's got what seems to be a stylus of some sort.
Yeah, grab his stylus and start doing the equations on my arm wrappings.
So you sort of unroll a lot of your wrappings to start doing the equation, because you do need the space to do it. Otherwise, you get it increases the difficulty. So okay, so you're inscribing it on some of your mummy wrappings.
Mm-hmm.
I assume by the end of the campaign that you're just going to be covered in equations.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, give me the roll.
So that would be, this one's a divination. I rolled a 16. My divination is 13, so plus the 16, that would be 16. I'm spend a possibility to make it, because that's a regular one, right?
Yeah, because the base DN of that spell is,
Oh, that one's 10.
and you rolled a 16,
Mhm.
so that's a good success. If you spend a possibility, you can make an outstanding success if you can get to 20.
I am going to spend a possibility.
Thank you, Mr. Furious. He's got the DN up there for me, so
Well, that's helpful.
nicely done.
7 this time.
But it's a possibility, so we'll count it as at least a 10,
Oh, so 10, and that's
in addition to what you previously rolled.
I rolled a 16,
Okay,
so I should have used the different dice.
so 26.
So 26, so plus 9, plus my 13 makes it a 21.
21 is an outstanding success. What happens in an outstanding success?
On an outstanding success, you get anyone who attacks, all my allies who attack, get an extra bonus die of damage.
So it's going to be AP4 if you make a called shot,
All right.
and an extra bonus die damage. So you're not paying attention, but for everyone else, they're like, "What is she doing?" Or are you clearly a feminine mom?
Yes.
Okay, what is she doing? Is what they say. And as you kind of unwrap, you start writing equations, looking down. Sometimes the equations spill out onto the side of this weird boat in the air. That, this is probably Ra's chariot, like, honestly.
Makes sense, yeah.
And as you write it all out, you shout out orders, which no one understands. And Quinn is like, "Aim for the underside, right there where the markings are." So you have to make a called shot. This is -4 to hit. You can put a card in play if you would like. You could pick something that could help him with his roll.
Can you use possibility for other people?
Not typically.
Okay.
So I will come back to you.
Okay.
Will you just let me know what card you want to put into play?
All right. That is 5.
That's not great. So a 5 right now is a -4 to your base of 6. So you're at a 2. I would suggest possibilities.
Yeah.
All right.
Possibility.
And you can always spend a second one on this roll if you need to, because you're in the Nile Empire.
Spend a second possibility.
Yeah, and get another.
I do not have any more possibilities.
Okay.
13.
13 plus 5 is 18.
Mm-hmm. So I've got a 5.
All right, so you're at a base of 5
Mhm.
plus your dex of 6
Mhm. But -4.
-4
Well,
because
Oh,
of the cold
right.
shot.
Yeah.
So I just lost my math. Becca, no.
that'd be 7, right?
So you got to get at least a 10 to hit these guys. Do you have
Okay.
any cards in play that could help you?
I
Did you
do
put one in
not.
last round when you made your shot?
And I don't have one that could actually affect it, even if I did.
Do you have anything that can help?
I don't think I have anything that could help him.
Okay.
I have like a second chance, which would be awesome, but I don't think I can give that to him.
You can trade cards in an action.
Ooh, do you want to trade this card? It's a second shot.
Okay.
You basically get to re-roll the whole action.
Does he still get the possibility?
He still spends the possibility.
Okay. All right. So I'm just re-rolling from scratch,
Go re-roll it from scratch.
and with that possibility that I spent, I can roll the one.
All right, so Greg is thinking that if she targeted the aircraft, the attack would be armor piercing. Probably some way to MacGyver the bullet frequencies to give him the benefit. I like it.
Okay. Well, first roll was a 7. Let's see what the second one is. Second one was a 6. So we've got.
You're at a 17. Because remember, the second roll always counts as a 10.
Oh, it's a 10. That's
So 17 is a +4.
right. Okay.
This has been worse than last time?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
No, you had a 15 last time. 17's plus is 2 better, but
Okay.
that's not super great. So 4 plus.
My dexterity of 6, which is 10.
Nope.
4. Nope.
Would an idea help if we could trade for
No, not at this point.
Yeah.
All right, bullets go flying and whizzing. You hit whatever he is doing. It had no effect on the biplane
Okay.
or on the winged creature. So it is now their turn,
Oh.
and bullets straight. The Zeppelin. Oh, and I rolled a 5. Where's all of my good juju? Even with it's -4. Bullet strafe the decking of the Zeppelin. splinters go flying. And we're going to draw the next card. Ancient Secrets. If you have Scholar at 14 or higher, any test you attempt this round is favored. However, villains go first. Intimidate and Maneuver are approved actions. All right? So, as the bullets sort of kick up off the ground, as these weird metallic wasps blow up around you. I'm trying.
Love it.
The plane strafes again. The Zeppelin is starting to pick up speed. You get the feeling like you can deal with the Zeppelin the biplane this turn, the Zeppelin can get away. However, as you are watching, someone comes flying out of the sky on the wings of Horus and just sort of lands in front of you and draws a long bladed weapon. And you can see that he clicks something on the hilt of the saber and it erupts in flames. So, bullets from the gun. Ooh. All right, so Zorba, as you are sitting in the cockpit, bullets ping around the little canopy. Now you have cover. So the nice thing about cover is that cover is going to give you 2 extra points of armor.
Okay.
Which will bring your armor to a total of 12. Mm-hmm. However, I'm just not rolling that great.
I don't mind.
15. So you will take another 2 shock from the bullets as they ding around, kind of rattling you back and forth. This person tries to bring this flaming saber down upon you. Ooh, a 13 gives me a +1. So the thing is, his attack is 13 plus 1 is 14. Your dodge is only 9. So he hits with a good success. Do you have a card?
I don't know. I don't know what all these cards do yet.
Okay. Which cards do you have? Idea would not help, but adrenaline. What does adrenaline say?
Add +3 to Dex, Strength, or related skill total. It may be played after determining the success level of a test.
Okay, so what you could do if you wanted to, you could take an active defense, which basically means you would roll your dodge to get out of the way to increase your dodge value. It would go up by at least 1, even if you totally flub the roll. And if you wanted to, you could spend the adrenaline to make it even higher. Or you could just see what happens damage-wise and go from there.
I feel like that's so much damage on me.
You don't know how much damage.
So, okay. If I do that, like that then ends up being my main action is defending.
Mm-hmm. You would lose your next action. Yes, Greg, I have to up the ante somehow.
I really want to do cool stuff.
So take the wound. Well, you don't know if there's going to be a wound. And do you have possibilities?
Oh, I do.
So
yeah, I'm gonna let it happen.
let it ride.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will inflict 1 wound
Okay.
and no shock because you are immune to. Oh, no, you're immune to fatigue, so it will do 2 shock. So here's how this works. Do you want to try and soak it?
Yes.
So you spend a possibility. You give me a reality.
Okay.
So in Torg, when you take damage as a Storm Knight, you can actually bend reality around you and try and soak damage that comes that is incoming. I also think that, chat, what would you guys think if I put across the bottom of our overlay the Torg bonus chart so that you guys could see what the players roll? Let me know if you like that idea.
Okay, so I rolled a 9, which is a -1, and my reality is a 12, so it would be 11. Would
right.
that be enough?
That would reduce your total shock taken to 0. Reduce the wounds you take by 1.
How many wounds was it going to be?
1 wound.
Oh,
and 2
great.
shock. So, all right, chat likes that. Next week, I will put up the bonus chart across the bottom of the screen. So, what changes? How do you instinctually rewrite the attack so that you don't get hit? You don't take wounds.
I like the idea that
You can't make him like trip or fall or anything. This is strictly like you don't get hit or you don't take as much damage. So.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say like his weird magic thing flickers because
Oh, yeah.
technology is confusing to me, and that's the reality that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. So he basically hits you instead of with the flaming weapon, with kind of the blunt edge, and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. All right. It is now our hero's turn. You said you wanted to do cool things. So I feel like she's got a cool thing idea.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was just gonna do that harmonic thing again and make him explode from the inside.
Can you? Is the harmonic thing only damage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on.
Yeah.
Give me an alteration skill roll. What do you want to do? Now remember, if you do something super dramatic or over the top,
Yeah. So
that falls in with the line.
what's
Oh, another
your range?
20.
What is your range on that harmonic frequency?
10 meters.
10 meters. Is that close enough to one of the biplanes?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Intimidate is a favorite action, right?
Intimidate is an approved action here.
I want to try and convince whoever is piloting this Zeppelin to intimidate this biplane by just like looking like we're going to ram it.
So you would have to be the pilot to do that. So like, if you want to intimidate this guy, you can scream at him. You can like.
Okay.
I
So
think in this one, the pilot could also get 2 for intimidating and maneuvering, or is maneuvering not one this time?
Maneuver is one, but you only get 1 for the approved actions.
Okay.
So you're in the gunner seat. If you want to do something intimidating, I'm totally down for it. But you have to be the one to do the action.
yeah, I would. How far away is the pilot here?
You would have to cross the entire length of the ship. If you wanted to get there in one, if you wanted to try this as a multi-action, I'd let you do maneuver and intimidate, and we'll see where the dice fall.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna run to the across the Zeppelin
Okay.
to the pilot and try and convince him to like just ram this guy. You know, we're in a bigger boat.
You are, and I'm going to give Zero Earth Element a possibility because that is also the song that is going through my head right now, the opening to the Immigrant song. As you get out of this thing, explosions are going out, bullets are falling, the mummy is making jazz hands with another one of these jet-packed goons as you go running across. So, you guys, you rolled a 20, so you can keep rolling. Give me your roll.
All right, that is 12.
All right?
And which
Wait, that would pop the book. I feel like I shouldn't do that.
It's your
which
choice.
skill am I? Oh, it's my choice.
So, well, no. For her, if it falls off, here's the way my table works. If you want to keep it, you have to keep it if it falls off the book for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
If you pick it up and re-roll it, you have to pick up everything.
I'm gonna pick it up and re-roll it. It fell off and landed like wedged, so it wasn't showing a number, and I feel like it was just gonna be cheating.
Greg did say if you wanted to stay in the cockpit or the gunner's thing, you could intimidate him by clearly aiming at the biplane and be like, "I'm going to get you," like aiming threateningly. But you don't have to do that.
No, I want to go try and convince
Okay.
the pilot that we should just ram this guy. We're in a big,
All right.
play a game of chicken.
Play a game of chicken. All right. So what you got a 12.
It's not like these old flying, Zeppelins are that explosive or anything.
Right. That was Greg's comment. Flaming sword on a Zeppelin is probably just a horrible, horrible idea. All right. So you got a 12. You have. Do you say anything? I feel like this is suitably dramatic. I will give you a possibility if you want to spend it on this roll.
Sure.
All right. Go ahead and do it. What did you get on your harmonics?
I ended up rolling a 38, which gives me a plus 11, giving me a 25 on my roll.
So that's an outstanding success.
And I just want to say that this is probably another situation where my mummy eyes would be glowing while I'm jazz dancing.
Okay. I like it.
So that would be the 10 damage plus 2 bonus die.
Yeah.
I'm dropping all of them on the ground today.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just
So an extra 8, so 18.
18, and this ignores armor. So once again, you harmonically eviscerate the guy standing in front of you. As you see the nice man go running past you, what did you get on your total?
So it's 28.
28?
So that bonus would be 9 added to Or is this persuasion?
So this would actually start off with the maneuver.
With the maneuver, okay.
Yep. So what's your maneuver is dex. So dex plus 7.
So dex plus 7 is 13.
All right. So you make it across the deck.
All right.
You slide in there. The guy piloting. Who are you? What are you doing in here? And your persuade is plus 7.
Persuade is plus
So
7.
what's your base persuade value?
My base persuade is 15.
All right. So 22. All right. What do you say to this guy?
Ram towards that,
Are you crazy?
perhaps. And I give him my big, widest, crazy eyes and just point right to that plane.
Well, the pilot may get a destiny card. Oh, well, he rolled an 18.
Mhm.
So he intimidatingly flies the Zeppelin at the biplane, causing the biplane to swerve off and narrowly miss one of the pyramids as the Zeppelin then gains altitude and flies off, rising above the sandstorm. Full moon glows over Cairo as the Zeppelin kind of arcs towards it. This is where we will fade to black
And white.
several days later across the screen. You guys have been told what is going on. In a single day, multiple different realities invaded Earth as you know it as you knew it. There's a war being fought. Possibility war. This Sebastian Quinn is putting together an organization that he's calling the Delphi Council. Great oracles, good parties. You remember the Delphi. And he wants you to join. Training in languages, modern culture, the things you would need to know. He tells you there are 3 others who will be joining your team. He's going to be sending you to a city you've never heard of. A city known as Istanbul. In 3 weeks, we will be picking up with that campaign. Thank you to Jenny and Gabe for being our guinea pigs on our day 1 shots. This is the introduction to, we're going to do 3 of these. So today's introduction, Mummies and Movie Stars, is the introduction of Zorba and Kit. When we come back next week on Torg's Day night, we play every Tuesday night. We go live at 7:30 Central Time. We play until about 9 o'clock Central Time. And next week we will have Brimstone and Lasers over Paris, where we will introduce 2 more of our characters. We will be introducing our Cyber Papacy Templar and our Tharkoldian Techno-Demon Aspirant. And, well, thanks. Greg says good job to everyone. So thank you, Greg. And we will be back so we will be doing that introduction. And then in 2 weeks, we will be doing my homage to haunted horror slasher films, as our 3rd character is introduced by getting her group of friends to go investigate a haunted house that suddenly finds itself home to an Oroshian terror on day 1. I promise much body horror and death and 1 storm night coming out of it, possibly more, but we'll say at least 1. So we will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel, with 2 new Torg characters and a brand new one-shot. If you like what we do, please consider following the Ulisses International channel here on Twitch. If you like our video, you can go and watch it live, or you can go and watch it on YouTube. Also, YouTube has the Ulisses International YouTube channel has a ton of backlog. We've run multiple Torg games, multiple short Torg games, a very long Torg game. We've run Fading Suns. We've run some Dark Eye. If you want to find out more about the great games that Ulisses produces, please go check them out over on YouTube. I am JM, your GM. We will be back in a week with more Torg. Another big shout out to Bob Crum. Thank you for the beautiful frame that he designed for us. And we will be back with the 2 Bens of our group next week. So thank you to Jenny and Gabe for joining this campaign and being our first one-shot. We will be back next week with more Torg on Torg's Day Night. I am JM. These, I can't say these are my horsemen. We're going to have to find out what the group name is once the group comes together. These are two of my players. And until next time, stay safe, stay gaming, stay healthy. I said that wrong, but you know what? We're going to go with it. Stay safe, stay gaming, stay healthy. That's my sign off. You can tell that we're easing back into being back to live. So have a great one, everyone. We will see you all in a week.